Hey everybody. It's been a while since I've done a black box investigation video or just looking at stuff that the black box can or cannot do. I'm going to do it a little differently today. I'm going to try not to think too hard. I'm not going to do a lot of edits because I don't have a bunch of time, but I wanted to get this done because if you're not a member of the 1010 Black Box forum, it's a good place to talk about stuff, and I think it's a nice community. And a fellow there signed up and was asking some questions about long loops, and he wants to buy a black box, and he wants to downsize his Octatrack, which I'm sure he has a good reason for performing, I guess, and space on the table, and he's hoping that the black box can do some of the stuff that he does with his Octatrack for scenarios where he doesn't have a lot of space. And he asked the question, can I loop long stuff? And he meant long, like 5-minute loops or longer. And I never do that, but nobody gave him an answer. So I thought I'd reach out to the guy and have him send me some of these loops because I wanted to hear what they were, and also to find out if I could do it. So he sent them to me immediately, and I futzed with them immediately, and I got some good results pretty darn quick. And I wanted to document that so I could send it back to him to close the loop. So just for kicks, I've got a couple of synths hooked up to the black box just to give us a little groove, and we're going to add a little space to this groove with the loops that Charlie sent me right now. So first, let's look at these guys. Maybe I'll stop this for a sec. So right here, he says this is loop number 1, psych. It's a 3-bar loop, 6 seconds long at 130 BPM in 4/4 time. And then he goes on. He asks me, should we use clips? Should we have the beat count set to 12? And then he does math. 2 times 4 equals 12, which last I checked, Charlie, is 8, but I forgive you. I think that you've been thinking way too hard about this, and as a result, you're exhausted. So I know that you didn't mean that 2 times 4 is 12. So what's interesting, can the black box handle shorter odd bars? So here's what it sounds like. So just here, you can hear me holding it. I'm looping it cleanly. And by the way, Charlie, once again, these are really cool atmospheres. Thank you for sharing them with me. I'm not going to get rich off of using these, but I will play with them. And if you send me more, I will play with those too. So anyway, so how is this going to work when we're playing? So let's get that groove going again. We'll let our reverb and effects come in, and now let's add psych to the mix too. So I think we'd all agree that that's clean, and that's looping, and that's a 6-second loop. No problem. So turn that guy off. Now let's have a look at this other one. The next loop that Charlie sent me, number 2, Syncussion. 27 bars, about 50 seconds long. 27-bar loop. Should that have the beat count of 108? So again, he's talking about clips. 27 times 4 equals 108. What's interesting, can the black box handle longer odd bars? Most of my samples are in this range, under 128 bars, but in all different lengths. So what does this guy sound like? I really like this one. He also mentions in the note that he sent me that he added a hi-hat in the background just to keep track of the tempo. So I'm guessing in Charlie's sound design it didn't originally have that hi-hat in there, but still very rhythmic, very cool. And as you can see, we're not even halfway done. I'm not going to go all the way to the end. So let's hear that guy. Let's turn everything off. And spoiler, it's going to loop. I don't know if you want me to sit here for a minute, but it's going to loop, and I can turn it up a little bit because it's kind of cool. Where is it? So, yes, Charlie, that looped just fine. Then the third one is, what does he call it? Number 3, he refers to it as a pad. I think of it kind of as like an atmosphere. I really loved this. This kept me up until like 3 o'clock in the morning just because when I was stopped and I wasn't like making drums or making melodies, I just had the noise in the background keeping me company. It's the devil. This sample is the devil, Charlie, but in a good way. So this is 174 bars. He says it's 5 minutes and 21 seconds. And he does more math and he says, how's this going to work? And he's thinking about clips. So you'll notice I'm not using clips, first of all. So let's hear this guy. I think, Charlie, you got to tell me, is there a train? You hear that? I grew up not too far away from train tracks, and I could hear that sound off in the distance at night. I became very familiar with it and enjoyed it very much. So this... Oh, you know what? That was just a black box party foul. Hang on. Because I was highlighted on the sequence that's on the Micro Monster. I was playing the Micro Monster while I was playing that. Start over. All right, so now this is Charlie's train tracks. Train coming through the station, off in the distance thing that I enjoyed so much, and this goes on for 5 minutes. And one thing you'll notice, the black box can handle these long loops. Visually, the render, is a little step behind. But like, guys, do we really care about that? I mean, maybe you do, but it takes a sec. And no, at no time can you visualize the entire 5 minute sample on the screen in total, except for this, navigator thingamajig. So yeah, it works fine. So let's go in, do, oops, off, do. Let's turn this up real loud. Now, what I can do is let this run for 5 minutes and then compress the video later. But I still don't think I want to do that because I just want to get this done and get this out. So I close the loop with Charlie. A couple of things that I wanted to talk about, though, in terms of getting this to work, because, again, I think the point of this... Where'd my bass go? So I think the point of all this, the reason that he's asking, is that he's performing, and he doesn't have a lot of space. Where is that coming from? I think Charlie's sample it's still going. Oh yeah, it's still going. It just gets real quiet for a while. So I was like, where'd it go? I really like the organics of these. But anyway, one of the concerns that you have when you're performing is to be able to, launch and stop things. Maybe it's a little too loud. It's in there. So you can do that with the black box too. So if I just want to stop and flip over to the first one, I can. And that third sample stopped immediately, or in quantized time, like in a beat. Same thing. I stopped the first one and then started the second one, and then I can start the third one. All we want. Now, here's the thing. Now, let's talk about what I did here real quick. This conversation is all clips. So in case you don't realize what I'm talking about, there's all different modes of samples. Clip is one of them. It is, I don't want to explain it. Look it up. It's different than a sample. It's kind of like a sample on rails. There's the black box associates beats to it, and it can be quantized, and it's supposed to be helpful, and I almost never use it. So why start now? So I didn't do clips. The first thing I thought about was, since Charlie was so diligent in his explanations of these, he told me exactly how many bars he had. So I loaded up the sample, and then I picked a sequence to put the sample into. And then, so he told me that it's what did he say? It's a 3-bar sample. So I set the step length to a bar, and I set the step count to 3, which is essentially saying, this is a 3-bar. It's a 3-bar sample. So usually I never do this, but in this case, I just set up a sequence to loop 3 bars, where the sample is gated, and where that sample that was introduced, it was loaded into the black box, it was already precisely set up to be 3 bars at 130 BPM. So the reason I mentioned that it's gated as opposed to triggered, watch what happens if I trigger. It keeps going until it's completely run through the end. That is gonna kill you on this 5-minute sample. If you decide you want to stop at 2 minutes in and you're triggered,
this is triggering
you're stuck
me.
with it. Unless you want to come back over here, I guess you could. We'll try that. Let's try that. So right now you can see it's gated, which is what allows me to turn it on and off, because essentially what I did over here, same sort of thing, however many, so he said it's 174 bars. So I set the step length to one bar, and then I set the step count to 174. Now if we let that guy go, so it's in time. You can hear the hi-hat with the count here. Now if I turn this off, it's going to keep going because it was triggered.
This is triggering me.
So now let's test this in real time. I never tried this before. If we change it to gate, no, you're effed, because you're stuck with it, because I think the black box, it's playing the sample according to the parameters that were set when you hit play. Or did it stop? Or did it just go quiet again? No, it's still going. So let's stop this guy. It's still going. Let's come back here. Oh, now it's set to gate. Well, I set it to gate. And now again. I've had enough yet. So once again, this guy is what? 27 bars. 27 bars, step length is a bar. Now, in order to get it working with the gate, though, what you have to do is set the length of the note. Oops, where is it? Yeah. If I was just gated, or I'm sorry, if I was just triggered.
This is triggering me.
I could just have this set to fire for 1 bar. And because it's going to play until it stops, that's fine. But because this is a 27 bar long loop and I want it gated, I just take this bad boy and keep the length, keep it gated open for 27 bars. So that's that. Now, for grins, you want to talk about clips? I'll show you what clips do. We'll load psych again. Just to show you, I could copy them, but I'm going to load syncussion again. And I'm going to load this pad again. You watch it. It takes a while to show it all in there, but it's coming. So if we start with this first guy. Do something to the space. Make it little. Okay. So switch it to a clip. Okay, so clips only play when it's playing. This is small. So let's make another sequence. Or I guess the idea with the clip is that you don't need a sequence. So let's see what the settings are here. MISC. Here's clip. Oops. All right, quantize to a bar. Auto. 2, 3, 4. It's torturing this poor sample. I have no idea why it's doing it, but it's all jittery. It's poor defenseless sample because it's synced. If I turn the sync off, it's fine. So this sample is a good candidate for using as a clip, I guess. Let's go to the other guy. So now we're back to syncussion. Oh, but syncussion is, this guy is still set up as a sample. So let's turn it into a clip, which stops it for me, thankfully. Same thing, I guess. So sync isn't doing us any favors. See, you hear that? It's doing stuff. I'm too lazy to learn everything there is to know about clips. It feels like it's a little less brutal abuse on this longer one at synced 16. Loop mode is on. What was this? This is our 5-minute one? It's only 50 seconds. So let's see. Let's have patience. I'll do some sound design while we wait. Oh, I'm also way out of time with the bass though. So that's something to note. I don't have that problem with the sequences. But you see, it does loop. So if you're interested in figuring out how to use the clip to, so refreshing to be not locked into that anymore. That mistiming. So I'm not even going to do the last one. I pledge I'll learn how to deal with clips. I know that sometimes when you sample, you get clips automatically. I feel like, and I do use clips for things that I sample into the black box, and I feel like those work great. Not poo-pooing the feature. Again, I just haven't wrapped my head around it. So in any case, Charlie, coming from the Octatrack, I mean, I don't have an Octatrack, I have a Digitact. I don't know how you're going to feel about the black box, but if you want to use it to launch super long samples, you can. Now keep in mind, all we're talking about here is funky bar lengths. Everything you gave me is in the power of 2, and that is one limitation, is that the 1010 has commented on a number of times. The black box is designed to play samples and play music in time signatures that are in the power of 2. So I don't know, 3/4 time, 5/7 time, 7/4 time, what, 4/4 time, 4 on the floor, knock it out. Cut time, it's going to work. Is 3/4 going to work? Is 5/7 going to work? It's not. Or if it is, you're gonna hack it and make a lot of people happy figuring out how to get it done. The one thing that I will point out in terms of a limitation, if you're going to use the sequence-oriented approach, is that you can't get past 256 bars. So if you're going bigger than that, you're going to have to get creative, or break it down, or just be happy with that ceiling. Other than that, man, I think you're good. The black box plays samples and it loops them, and I've answered your question for 20 minutes, but I had fun. And Charlie out there on the forum, thanks for being a good sport and sharing your cool samples with me. I had fun playing with them, and I hope that you will that I can get some more of your stuff, play with you some more. Thanks. I think we're done here. We could get really crazy. I could do the pad and his psych. All right, rock on, everybody. I'm done. For real.